And over time, when we continue to practice meditation, we're actually developing what I like to call a new relationship with our thoughts. You know, it's really easy to just let our thoughts kind of control what we do. You have a thought and you're acting on it immediately, pretty much. If you kind of think back how your days go, especially when you're triggered, especially when something happens that triggers an intense emotion. Normally we might have a thought that we're angry and all of a sudden we're like yelling at somebody or reacting on that emotion or that thought. So when we meditate, we're not taking our thoughts so seriously. We're just kind of watching them go by. And in my flaky yoga teacher persona, I would say, we're watching our thoughts go by like clouds floating through the sky. So you can use that analogy if you like it. If you don't, if you're like, that's a little too much for me, let it go. So again, just a new relationship with our thoughts, so we don't have to take them so seriously. Okay? I want to share with you guys a story, and I'm sure you've heard of it, just about how we can have this new relationship with our thoughts and how this can help us in situations of safety and of risk. So there's a new movie out, I think it's called Sully, which is based upon this true story. Yeah, Miracle on the Hudson, Captain Sully Sullenberger. I still haven't seen the movie, but I really want to see it. Tom Hanks, national treasure. So here's the story, if you don't know about it. So this Captain Sully was flying a passenger airplane. It flew out of LaGuardia in New York. Pretty much within the first few minutes, they ran into a huge flock of birds. I can't remember what kind of bird. Was it like Canadian geese or something? I think it might have been. Big birds. Took out both of their engines. So at this point, the plane has not even climbed to its maximum elevation. It's 30,000 feet. It's not anywhere close to there. It's still on its ascent. And both of its engines are gone. The plane essentially becomes a glider, right? It's steadily descending, no power to the plane. So here's the captain of this plane trying to figure out, all right, now what the heck do we do? Of course, he's in contact with the air traffic controllers, and they're kind of trying to problem solve and troubleshoot, and they decide, okay, well, we're gonna get you to land at Teterboro Airport. This is like 10 miles away from where he is. And he's just looking at, all of his controls and realizing that's not gonna happen. This is not going to happen. So the story ends well, as you probably all know. He decided or problem solved or troubleshot that he landed on the Hudson River and all was great. He saved all these people's lives. He saved his own life. But what is it that allows someone like Captain Sully to be able to problem solve in the face of really extreme, I'm sure, terror, not just fear, terror, I'm sure. It was horrifying. He knows he's responsible for all these people on this plane. He knows his own life is at stake. So what allows him to be able to be of present mind to practice what pilots actually call deliberate calm in situations like this? Well, scientists have realized that the crucial variable in people who can do this is that they're able to balance intense emotion with critical thought. And they call it metacognition. Fancy word. Means thinking about thinking. So essentially what he was able to do was realize that he had thoughts of really intense emotion. Fear, sadness, anxiety, stress. They're there, but he was able to notice that they were there and make a choice instead to not move from those intense emotions and the thoughts that came as a result of those emotions, but to move instead from a place of problem solving, of moving forward intentionally, critical thought, how are we going to solve this problem? So again, pilots call this deliberate calm, and they actually, they train for this. They do their flight simulations, and they train in actual scenarios like this that are horrible, that they hope they're never put into. And really, he was able to problem solve and to save all these people's lives because he had practiced staying calm. He had practiced these intense situations and being able to make a conscious choice to move from the thoughts, the critical thoughts, the problem solving, instead of the thoughts of the emotions. Okay? And it's the same thing when you're meditating. You see that the thoughts are there, they're there, but you don't feed them. You choose in that moment to not give them all the power in the world, right? But instead, for that minute, you're just making a choice to land on your breath. And again, it doesn't matter what you're choosing, you're practicing this concept of choice.